Everyone, and welcome to this episode of Let's Chat MetaPWR. My name is Anna Foley, and you're in the right place here tonight. You're about to hear from Zamoura Mayo. Now, Zamoura has a fascinating background. When I asked her story just to read about, this was amazing, but let alone hearing what she's experienced with MetaPWR. So, Zamoura, you've had a dynamic and multifaceted career that blends science, service, and holistic wellness. And you've had over a decade in the medical field, including stem cell research, nearly a decade as a police officer in California, specializing in mental health training, and you bring a unique perspective to wellness. So, transitioning from law enforcement, you've become a lead instructor at a world-renowned vegan culinary school and has dedicated yourself to holistic health for over a decade. So this diverse background is what fuels your mission to inspire and support others on their wellness journey to achieve balanced and vibrant health. Zamoura, you come from so many different angles. So I want to ask you, what was life like before you started on MetaPWR yourself?
There was life before MetaPWR. What was life like? To be honest, before I was taking MetaPWR, I was dabbling. I had just come to Australia. I wasn't really serious about it. I was like, oh, yeah, collagen, okay. And I had re-herniated my disc from a previous injury, and I had nerve pain. So I was actually bedridden. And my orthopedic surgeon kept calling me wanting to do surgery. And here I had MetaPWR as an option. I didn't know it was an option at the time. Like I was taking LLV, I was taking some of the other supplements. LLV I was taking consistently, but I wasn't taking everything else consistently. It's that whole thing where sometimes we just take what we have for granted. It's like that sign at work that says, clean up, your mother's not here. And then eventually you just don't see it anymore. And I was taking everything that we have for granted. And we do this sometimes when we get into a routine. So I was in and out and on. That's what it was like prior.
Okay, let's come back to that and hear from you what has helped you to create a habit with it. But I'd like to first of all hear, what did you notice when you did start becoming consistent with it? Can you talk us through
Hmm.
that?
Yeah, like I said, I had re-herniated a disc and it was pretty severe. I couldn't walk. Within probably 2 weeks, I was amboed off to the hospital twice. And my orthopedic surgeon kept calling me saying, I am really concerned. I'm worried that you're going to be paralyzed. It's that bad. This was a re-injury. So I'd already had 3 back surgeries, 3 herniated discs. This was in the same area. And you've got to take care of this. You can't walk. You keep going to the hospital. You're on such heavy meds. And I wrote it down just so I wouldn't forget. I was taking 3 to 4 Targen a day. Targen is a time-released oxy. It's 3 oxys in one. I was taking that 3 to 4 times a day, plus at the same time, 1 oxy 4 times a day. I was on cannabis and I was alternating ibuprofen and acetaminophen. Like I was taking enough drugs to knock a horse out. And I said to him, Doc, I honestly don't want to go under the knife again. Like this would be number 4. This new product came out. I was really buying time, to be honest. I'm like, this new product from doterra just came out. Apparently it's all the rage and I want to give it a go. I says, what I hear is 3 months. You should start to notice a difference. After 3 months, if I don't notice a difference, I will be back. I didn't tell him the next day I was getting on an airplane to the States and had enough drugs to knock a horse out. But nonetheless, I would have come back to Australia to have free surgery, but I didn't need to. I'm also a trained yoga teacher, so I started doing some yoga. I started re-implementing some of the physical therapy that I've known from the past. And I was taking 2 sachets of MetaPWR a day. I also upped my supplementation. So I was already taking LLV, so lifelong vitality supplements. Normally we take 2 from each of the 3 bottles twice a day. So I call that a 2 by 2. I was doing a 3 by 2. So 3 of each twice a day. On top of that, I was taking turmeric, deep blue polyphenols, DDR prime, and I was doing the turmeric, deep blue polyphenols, and DDR prime 4 times a day. So I was really hitting it hard. Oh, and copaiba, because I really wanted as much anti-inflammatory as I could. The double downing on the MetaPWR I really started to notice a difference in a couple of weeks, actually. In a couple of weeks, I started to notice a reduce. Mind you, I couldn't put my foot on the ground because of the nerve pain. So I started to notice, oh, I can put my foot down. Like it doesn't hurt so much. I could walk without my gait being compromised. And yeah, 3 months was the magic mark. I really had very little pain, if any. Like some days I'd have none, some days I'd have very little, and now I have zero pain, and I could not walk. Like this was the turning point for me getting really serious. We don't value our health until we don't have it, right? We know more about our TV, our car, our smartwatches and phones than we do our meat body, this avatar that we get to experience life in. It's like we wait until something's wrong. We so take it for granted and we laugh about it. And yet when the what hits the fan and now we're not okay, now we're crying and begging and pleading to whoever instead of taking the time, investing in, as much as we research how our phones work and how to get the best price, we should do that for our wellness as well. And here's the funny thing. I was teaching at a world-renowned culinary school. People who come from all over the world. They know that we were the best school. And you tell people, okay, if you eat this, this is what's going to happen, basically, over time, right? It's like a computer, crep in, crep out, right? Whoops, was I allowed to say that? Junk in, junk out. And when it comes to something that's healthy or good for us or a supplement that could really help support us, now all of a sudden they go, what research do you have as they're eating their McDonald's? And I'm like, really? Really? You're questioning this one product when you eat like this, you drink like this, and you smoke like this. So, yeah. Anyway, I went off on a tangent, but
Yeah, no, it's really great how you're putting it into everyday language and making sense of it. I'd love to know, was it a pledge that you made to yourself, like to get serious and get committed with this, or did you have accountability with someone else, or what was that turning point for you?
pain. Pain is usually the turning point for anybody. When you're not willing to deal with the pain anymore, then we're willing to make some sort of a change. And my life was compromised. I was horizontal. My whole life came to a screeching halt because the pain was so overwhelming that I couldn't think about anything else. I couldn't function because I was on so many drugs. So just to deal with the pain so I can get up and go to the loo or cook myself a meal. And yeah, so I think the turning point was you get sick and tired of feeling sick and tired.
So it's led you down a path of actually deeply researching, hasn't it? I've listened to some of your information classes and things like that. Do you want to talk a little bit on that?
Yeah. Our MetaPWR is by far, again, sometimes we take for granted because we're with the company, because it's our product. The grass is always greener, right? We think, oh, yeah, it's all right. But there's got to be something better out there. Who would want what we have? No, let me tell you, people, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. We have the best product on the face of the earth when it comes to collagen. Okay. The magic of our collagen is that we have 9 peptides versus 2 or 3. And I didn't actually know this when I was taking the collagen, but peptide 9, which is one of the peptides that is in our collagen, we have 1, 2, 4, 6, whatever. 9 is specifically for interdiscal material. And I had no idea when I was taking it. That is very specific. And the fact that ours is pre-digested, hydrolyzed, I don't think people understand what that actually means. A peptide, a collagen peptide, could be anywhere from, I think it's 25 to 50 molecules long. Okay. Now, if somebody goes and buys collagen off the shelf, those are peptides. They're long peptides. Ours are pre-digested and they're basically shorter molecules. So they were able to identify specifically what that collagen is good for, is specific for. And that collagen 9 was the game changer for me because it was for interdiscal material. And little did I know, everything that I was taking, I knew turmeric was an anti-inflammatory. I knew that deep blue polyphenols were like epic. If you have any discomfort in your body, oh my gosh. And then DDR prime, DNA damaged DNA repair. This is a recurring issue for me, right? If you've ever heard of the book, The Body Keeps Score, is that what it is? The Body Keeps Score, I think. Yeah. The body remembers you have an injury, and ironically, every 8 years, my disc would reherniate every 8 years. And so now I'm like, I've got to change. I've got to change it. So if my DNA remembers that, oh, I'm going to double up on DDR prime.
Brilliant. You're right. We've got all the answers at our fingertips, and you keep coming back to it. We take it for granted. So, how did you bring that belief that it was going to work for you, or was it just that last thing that you could do before surgery?
I really do believe in the power of the mind. You guys have heard of epigenetics. I really believe in epigenetics. Epigenetics is basically, in layman's terms, what we think about, we bring about. If you say, oh, I'm predestined to blah, blah, you're basically telling your body, okay, if I'm predestined to herniated discs because my mother had it, my father had it, my sister had it, da, 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 it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have it. Yes, you might be predestined to it, but if you continue down that path, you're for sure going to get it. But there's things that we can do to tell our body something different. When I was doing my yoga, when I was laying on the floor doing my stretches, when I was taking my supplements, I would lay there and I would imagine what it feels like. I can't describe to you how bad the pain was. I would be laying there. I would try to think, what did my body feel like when I didn't have pain? And I would try to mentally go there. And I was able to be there for a little while. And then every time I would drink my MetaPWR, I would think, this is healing my discs. This is healing my back. And every time I would stretch, I would think, okay, what would my body be like if it didn't hurt right now? How far can I move? And there's a little exercise, actually, we do have a minute. if you would all entertain me and try this if you want. So everybody close your eyes. Or actually, no, wait, open your eyes, open your eyes. I want you to just turn your head as far as you can to one side and then the other. And take note of how far you can turn your neck. Okay? You got that? You got the point? All right. Now I want everybody to close your eyes. This is the power of the mind. Close your eyes. And I want you to imagine with your eyes closed, don't actually turn your head. I just want you to imagine turning your head to what would be the equivalent of 3 o'clock. Right? So you're just turning your head to 3 o'clock and then turn it back forward. And now I want you to imagine in your mind, don't really do it, just imagine it in your mind. You're going to turn your head all the way so that you're actually going to be at 6 o'clock. So you're actually like turning your head all the way to look behind you. And now bring it back and look forward in your mind's eye. And now in your mind's eye, imagine your head turning all the way around to 9 o'clock, all the way around, all the way around. Okay, and now bring it back and look forward. And the last one, you know where we're going. I want you to, in your mind's eye, I want you to turn your head all the way around the clock till you hit 12 o'clock. And then back around 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're back facing forward. Now I want you to open your eyes and I want you to turn your head and see if you go any further than you originally did. Who went further? You didn't do anything but in your mind, right? So that's one little exercise that you can do. And when I was in pain, I was like, what does it feel like to not have pain? We can actually control that. Takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, but you can do it.
That's so powerful, and I love that you put that intention with having the collagen.
It's powerful stuff. I mean, everything that we need is in there. All the supportive, all the other ingredients. Like I won't get into the class. I actually have a course that I've done. It's called the Peptide Pep Talk, where I break down just the peptides. And it's like what I cut out all the ums and ahs. So I've narrowed it down to, I think it's still like 38 minutes. And I've broken it all down and I talk about metabolism and how important the MetaPWR is. I'm about to do another course on the hidden heroes of MetaPWR Advantage. I'm really excited about that. That's where I'm going to break down all the other ingredients.
How can people access these courses, Zamoura?
So I've created a container. It's called the portal. And actually, I'll put the link in. So it's portal.essence2thrive.com. It's a container where I'm happy to invite all of you to it.
Yeah, it's really good. So, Zamoura, do you find yourself talking to others who experience similar to you? And what sort of advice do you give them when it comes to pain?
Yeah, I always give the analogy of what I spoke about before. I said, we were so willing to spend money on, say, a $40 water bottle or a new watch or a new set of headphones, or we don't think twice about it. But when we think about spending $100 a month on a product that could change your life, like literally change your life, people question it. And I go, you are worth it. If you don't look after your body now, someone else is going to have to look after your body for you later. And you're not going to like it. So you might as well invest in yourself now. Don't wait. Start now, because the longer you're on it, the more it accumulates, the younger you look, the better you feel. You know, I mean, I'm 56 and I'm like, I feel like I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? I feel 2 years ago, I felt older than I feel now. I had no energy. I had brain fog. I had aches and pains in my joints. My back was killing me. It's like my back's break, my belt's too tight, my hips shaking from left to. That's how I felt. So my advice is invest the money now in your wellness, and just like we eat, we don't just stop eating because it's too expensive. We have to eat or we die, unless you're a breatharian. I look at it as, this is my food. This is food for my body, for my cells, for my meat. I call it my meat body. This is the suit that I go around in life and experience the world in. I want to have the best experience. And so if I'm worried about how I'm feeling, I can't experience what's out there because I'm too worried about what's in here. If I don't have to worry about this because I know I'm doing all the things every day to take care of it so that I feel really good, now I can have fun out here. And that's really what we all want to do. Yeah.
And you sure, I can see your productivity is going through the roof. I know how much you're putting into your business and your life and getting so much out of it. So I'd like to go back to that at the start. You touched on consistency and to
Mm.
get your tips and suggestions on how to make it an easy daily habit.
Okay. So I have my MetaPWR by the kettle. Not that you cook it, but in the morning when I get up, we have our routine. So wherever you go, the kettle is by my Zazen water filter. So I know I'm going to go get water. So I get my 2 sachets. I actually I have them in a jar. I take them out of the box and I stick them all in there. So it's easy. If you want to make it easy, if it's not easy, you're not going to do it. And it might not look nice, or it might not look pretty where it's at. Deal with it. Make it look pretty. So I have mine by my water filter because I know in the morning that's where I go first. And I have my little routine of doing my MetaPWR. I scull it down and then I go and I do other things. If your juice is not on the bench, you're not going to juice. If your kettle's not on the bench, you're not going to boil water, because then now it's like, oh, I have to do that. We keep our oils that we use most frequently where we most frequently use them. And so that's how I recommend that people start and plan their day out. When I'm sitting at my desk, I've got my rose here. So that if I'm dealing with a tough situation, it goes on. I have my motivate. I have my in tune. And then by the bed, I have my serenity. By the kitchen bench, I have my MetaPWR. In the bathroom, I have my XYZ, fill in the blanks. My suggestion is figure out what it is you want to incorporate in your life. If it's your supplements and you don't like to decant them when you take them because you forget, then maybe once a week, get a pill box, and once a week, divvy out all your supplements, put them where you're going to see them. And in the morning, you take your supplements, you do the.
Yeah, making it visual and convenient. I love it.
Mm.
I've seen a really valuable question from Diane. She's asking, how can I help people to proceed with another month because they expect 1 month to fix it all?
Okay. So whenever I talk about anything doTERRA, I always use the catchphrase, before we get started, you need to know this is not a one-drop wonder. It's not a $1 wonder. Okay. I say you don't eat once in life and then you're good, right? You have to consistently eat. Why? Because your body will metabolize that food and you need that fuel. So if your body is not making, say, NMN anymore, which is one of the products in MetaPWR Advantage, you need to continuously supplement that because you're not going to just reverse age by just taking it once. And we're talking cellular age here. So just like you eat food, this is food for your body. So I usually say you have to give it at least 3 months to notice. Everybody is different, and what your body requires might be different than what my body requires. Look, some people, they notice a difference within a few days. I have a friend who started taking it, and within a week, she was like, I could work out way more at the gym. I've just got so much energy. My recovery time is like killer. Or you might not notice a difference. Maybe if you have disc issues or a serious health concern, it's going to take your body a little bit longer to repair. Look, you didn't get there that fast. Like your disc didn't get degenerated that quickly. It didn't happen overnight. It's over time. So to repair it, it's going to take a little time. I usually tell people 3 months minimum commitment.
Oh, thank you, Zamoura. Jason's saying it takes 3 months to replace your blood cells, 12 months to replace bone marrow. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap it up there, everyone. I know we could keep listening to you, Zamoura, and you're so entertaining. I love the stories you bring into it and that interactive activity we had tonight. Thanks so much. Again, Zamoura, your time, it's been very valued.